Hello learners, BME 025 Condition Monitoring and Maintenance Management, Maintenance Scheduling by Dr. N. Venkateshwarlu, Associate Professor, School of Engineering and Technology, IGNOU, New Delhi. Introduction. When equipment is procured, the maintenance department has to make up the responsibility to see that the machine is kept into production state and then to upkeep, update and maintain it. This activity involves various maintenance functions, probably in the sequence of erection, installation, commissioning, preventive maintenance, scheduling, corrective maintenance, overhauling, lubricating, etc. Often the maintenance managers schedule these jobs by their experience. So, here we will learn about the maintenance schedules and maintenance scheduling procedures. So, various types of maintenance, how those maintenance can be scheduled. So, in this video we will learn about two types of maintenance schedules. So, but it is not always successful and economic. It is not so easy to perform all these jobs at times, so that the production is not affected. The knowledge of scientific methods in scheduling of these jobs will definitely add a feather to the cap of the plant engineer for his effective utilization of the resources. So, maintenance scheduling and its importance. So, how maintenance scheduling is important? Because there are, you can see that in any industry there are number of machines will fail. So, how to schedule those machines? So, effectively we have to schedule. So, then only that machines will be available for the production. So, if it is not effective, then the ideal times may be improved, or the maintenance people or maintenance crew will be idle. So, for that only we have to learn maintenance scheduling and its importance. Scheduling means assigning the time to the planned job. In the context of maintenance works, scheduling usually means to set the expected starting time for the maintenance function, such as repair or overhauling work. Note that scheduling is not determined how long a job will take. Suppose you estimated that a repair activity of a milling machine will take 11 hours. This is a measure of the workload. So, this is not scheduling. So, it takes this much of time. This is not a scheduling, this is the workload. But when you say that a repair work of milling machine will start say at 10 AM on May 11th, you have scheduled it. Scheduling also implies deciding ahead of time to repair a machine or a equipment. So, scheduling, what is scheduling? I hope you understood that. So, scheduling means we are planning a machine repair work ahead of time. So, we are planning means on so and so date, like here 10 AM on May 11 means in the May the machine will be scheduled for repair on that day ahead of time. So, that is known as a scheduling of a equipment, scheduling of a maintenance of a machine. Maintenance scheduling deals with the complaints or repairs with reference to machine status, the requirements and the availability constraints against achieving planned production on that machine. When you have more than one complaint, you have to schedule them judiciously according to certain rule, such as first in first out, last in first out, the job significance in production chains, etc. So, there are various number of machines will be has to be repaired. You got the requisition from various, suppose there are any number of production departments are there. So, the production departments have given the requisition. So, depending upon that, which machine has to be repaired first. So, either they can adopt the first in first out machine, or shortest processing time machine, or importance of the machine. So, depending upon that, the schedule will be taken place. The sequencing, scheduling and loading of maintenance jobs often pose a challenge to the plant engineer for the following reasons. So, there are various reasons which machine has to be scheduled first, which machine has to be loaded, and which machine has to be sequenced, and which sequence it has to be sequenced. Such type of things one has to think. The plant manager or plant engineer has to think, and they has to allot. So, depending upon the various reasons, which are the maintenance job requires the prerequisite knowledge of the technological and managerial aspects to arrange them in the correct order. Sometimes the jobs will be having the fixed order, while at other times they will have flexibility. So, depending upon that machine availability, so the maintenance schedules can be done. Hence, the plant engineer is supposed to know the characteristics of the jobs. The plant engineer should know thoroughly about the probable time of performing each job to find optimal schedules of the jobs, so as to minimize the total elapsed time, that is the time from the start of the first job to the completion of last job, as well as the idle times. The plant engineer should have sound knowledge in judging the parameters for fixing the sequence and schedules of the jobs. Sometimes the sequence is to be found for the jobs on machines or men, and in some other times it is men or machine on the jobs. So, it depends upon the machine availability, and number of machines are for pending for the repair. So, which are that knowledge one has to have, that plant engineer or plant manager has should have the knowledge. So, knowledge of sequencing. So, then only he can able to sequence the job and schedule the job and then load the jobs, so that it can be optimally allocated, and the idle time will be reduced, and the availability of that machines for the production will be increased. The maintenance schedules are prepared in the following stages. There are three types stages are there: sequencing, assignment, and workload. So, here the sequencing is all the jobs, those are to be done in a certain period, are written in an order according to the predetermined priority rules, that is how and when to do that job. The sequencing, so how it will be done, so when it has to be done, that is the sequence of that machine. So, which machine has to be done first, so that is the sequencing. Then assignment, the jobs are allocated to crew so as to complete in lowest possible time, that is who to do what job. So, that is the assignment or allocation of a particular mission or particular work to the men and crew, you can say. Then work scheduling, the allocation is assigned with the time, that is when to do, depending on the requirements and needs of the situations. The maintenance scheduling may be 1 or 2 or 3 stages shown above, that these are sequencing, assignment, and scheduling. So, these three are very important in scheduling of a maintenance activities. Scheduling policy in maintenance. If the maintenance crew is idle, it is the indication that the plant is working very well with full availability and good efficiency, but this is rare event. However, many times crew may be found idle though the equipment is under breakdown or other maintenance. This may be because of no availability of spares, absence of required technology, right tools are not available, improper planning and scheduling, etc. In such situation, maintenance manager will have to answer the following questions. So, here what happened, sometimes you can see that the maintenance people are sitting idle, means they are thinking that they have done everything before and they have handed over to the production people. So, the production is going very well, but it may not be the correct. So, sometimes what happened, the maintenance crew is idle because of non-availability of spares, absence of required technology, means they may not have been trained on that new machines. The new machines have arrived and their maintenance needs, then they do not have the knowledge of repairing that maintenance. So sometimes improper planning and scheduling also affects this idling of a manpower. What work should be allocated to the maintenance crew in slack periods, such as unavailability of spares, tools, technology, etc. So what work one has to allocate? They are idle because of spare parts are not available, tools are not available, technology is not available. So during that time, which work has to be allocated, that is depending upon the plant manager or the supervisors of the maintenance department. What are the requirements when heavy jobs are to be performed, that is forward planning. How to act when demand exceeds the capacity. So the maintenance demand has come more than the capacity. So then what you will do, and then what should be the strategy in the case of emergency. So these are all the factors which will influence. So the maintenance manager has to take decisions on scheduling and sequencing of the machines depending upon the importance. What should be the policy decision on overtime or undertime? Sometimes what happens, the demand is more, then the maintenance manager has to give some extra work or overtime working pay. So that is another policy. Should the work be allocated to the individual or group? Is the management spare parts going on smoothly? The above forces have their own impacts and exertion of high influence on the scheduling of maintenance jobs. So these are the various factors which have the effect on the scheduling policies in maintenance. To answer the above question satisfactorily, it is essential to scan various scheduling policies in practice. A few scheduling policies more suitable to the maintenance department are in general practice in many of the industries in India. So there are different types of scheduling policies. Here one you can see that relaxed scheduling policy. So in this policy, this is a very short term scheduling policy. In many small companies, most of the scheduling jobs are left to foreman. So foreman is at the workplace. So he will be handle this type of scheduling policy. They are likely to do their scheduling on their own. Some of them hardly have a fixed schedules as far ahead as 1 week, and the real schedules can be found only in the schedulers ahead. Merits of relaxed maintenance policy. It is a simple, easy, no burden on top management. Because why it is no burden? Because it is managed by the shop floor manager or shop floor supervisor. Since the shop floor men are involved, they know the day-to-day problems and hence they can plan efficiently. Effective planning is possible since the scheduler is more practical than theoretical. So the effective planning is possible because of the scheduler is the person who is involved in the maintenance, that is he is supervisor or foreman. So he can plan accordingly. That is why we are calling it as a effective planning. Demerits also there in this relaxed maintenance policy, which are if the foreman is not available due to any reason, the work gets disturbed or stopped. So why? Because the workers may not take any job because foreman is not available. So he will not take his own. So that is the disadvantage. The personal prejudice and opinions may affect the scheduled jobs. No scientific basis. There is no scientific basis. So on this relaxed maintenance policy, then spare part management is difficult because forward planning is missing. So here in this planning is totally done by the foreman. So he may not have the knowledge of spare parts management procedure. So that he may not give the information to the top management or to the maintenance the materials people, so that they can procure the spare parts. This is the disadvantage of a disadvantage or demerits of a relaxed maintenance policy. Then no work pay guarantee policy. This is another policy. So, pay will be guaranteed, but no work. So, that is a policy. So, this policy is related to the labor contracts. Today's labor contracts usually provide that men must be told ahead of time if there is a work shortage. If you do not have work for men who report in the morning, you can send them home, but you will have to give him 4 hours pay in lieu of notice. Better be sure that individuals have work ahead. This is a policy, no work policy. That is why we are calling it as a no work policy. So, if there is no work, the worker has to be given the off pay. So, that is the policies. Therefore, before scheduling, it is required to estimate the work content exactly, and hence the required manpower. The wrong estimates leads not only to losses but also to legal complaints. So, its merits are workers can be sure of either work or their minimum pay. The scheduler or employer will carefully plan the work ahead since he is worried of penalty for no work otherwise. Legally valued agreement, so good relation exists between the employee and employer. Better forward planning will be there. So, the demerits are workers when come for the work, and if it is not provided, they become restless and lose interest in working. Reputation is lost. If no work happens several times, so the reputation will be lost. Then overtime work are compensatory of policy. This is also one of the scheduling policy. Overtime work are compensatory of policy. If no work pay guarantee is one side of the coin, overtime is the other side of that poses the problem to the maintenance manager. So, if overtime is anticipated, the maintenance manager or the scheduler has to warn the foreman so that he can tell his men ahead. In maintenance department, it is very often to see the situation that demand the overtime due to unexpected breakdowns and unsolved puzzles while repairing. The merits of this maintenance policy is the workers are motivated to work more, availability, maintainability of machines can be improved, workers can get job satisfaction. A repair job, if kept pending or transferred to another person, it gets delayed because the new person needs time to understand the problem. So, these are the various advantages of a compensatory of policy. Then simultaneously it has a demerits also. The work may take a chance to slow down the job intentionally so that they can get a compensatory of it is done in extra time. So, B sometimes a little extra time over the normal time may be sufficient to complete the job, but the worker may demand full day compensation in lieu of this. So, these are the demerits of a system. It encourages absenteeism, may affect the normal day work because the workmen may take leave when it is really needed. It creates the conflicts among the workmen because a particular workman may get more compensatory off while others may get less due to the nature of repair and maintenance work carried out on the machines depending on the age of the machine, nature of the failure, criticality of the failure, etc. Short work schedules policy. When would you do? When you do not have sufficient work to keep everyone busy for a full day, this poses certain problem on decision making about what best can be done in such situation. Do you cut work hours for all or lay off some men and keep others on regular hours? Of course, the answer may be written into the labor contracts to schedules the jobs in lieu with the decision of top management. Therefore, in scheduling such jobs, a lot of attention is to be paid towards the load for the week as well as for the day. If you are likely to have 32 hours of work for a week, it is probably better way to work 5 short days, 5 or 6 hours instead of 4 full days to keep some flexibility for emergency jobs. Sometimes it is necessary to pay the attention to the need for full work crews. Perhaps we find this commonly in preventive maintenance scheduling and are less common in breakdown maintenance. The merits are good human relations. The policy motivates workmen to complete the job early, thus the jobs get finished faster. Flexibility in work schedules. Work will be done in faster pace. It provides scope for job rotation and hence job satisfaction and motivation to the workmen. Then demerits are some workers may do patch work to finish faster. Workmen once accustomed to more flexibility cannot easily return to their normal way when needed. This induces additional human relation problems, creates conflicts between departments, particularly between production and maintenance departments due to differences in their timings of works. Urgent works get affected. Scheduling the maintenance jobs by sequencing techniques. So, we have learned about the scheduling. Then what are the sequencing techniques to schedule a particular machines, or number of machines are available and number of men are available, that depends upon the maintenance crew and maintenance of jobs. So, the scheduling the maintenance jobs by sequencing techniques. It will be most convenient to study the sequencing of jobs of maintenance in the following models: n jobs into one machine. So, one machine is having n jobs, means there are repairs, n repairs have to be carried out on a one machine, and the second one is n jobs and two machines. So, there are two machines are waiting for the maintenance, but there are n jobs, n repairs has to be done. So, like n jobs and 3 machines, like similarly n jobs and m machines, 2 jobs and n machines. These are the various sequencing techniques which has to be implemented as per the requirements of the maintenance. Scheduling n jobs and 1 machine. Suppose there are 5 production departments from which 5 different requisitions have come to maintenance for repairing of their machines. It is now the turn of the engineer to decide the order of these jobs and allocate to his men. If only one operator is there to perform these 5 jobs, it becomes further critical and crucial. He can adopt one of the following methods in such situations. So, here there are various methods. So, first in first out or first come first serve. When the jobs do not require any preferential treatment, this rule is considered. Repair complaints at telecom departments, electricity departments usually follow such principle. So, then another one is last in first out. When a machine is being opened for repair or overhaul, the parts are put back in last in first out system. However, pipeline laying in waterworks, electrical wiring maintenance system will follow this model. Earliest due date. So, most of the times the production department asks for the probable time of completion of the repair job, and based on the promises of the plant engineer, they plan their production. To facilitate this, the plant engineer has to arrange all the jobs according to their due dates of delivery or handing over. So, shortest processing time, it is another method of sequencing. This is another policy to adopt for the plant engineer jobs with the concept that the jobs those take less time to repair can be handed over and thus facilitate maximum availability to the machinery. Longest processing time, this is also one of the method. In contrast to the above, the job takes longest time will be taken up first, and the jobs which take smaller time will be taken last. So, preemptive priority rule: when a job is very urgent, it will be taken up on the priority basis by attending immediately and stopping all other jobs. Then under this rule, the highest priority job is allowed to enter into the service immediately even if another job with lower priority is already in service. Non-preemptive priority rule: in this case, highest priority goes ahead in sequence, but service is started immediately after completion of the current service. Priority service: priority is given to certain jobs by virtue of their urgency. Service in random order: under the rule, the jobs are selected for service at random irrespective of their arrival, urgency, due date, etc. In the above, first 5 are static in nature and the rest are dynamic. A numerical example is given below to understand the above concepts. So, with this, I hope learners after listening this video, you should be able to define maintenance scheduling, know the importance of scheduling procedures, know the various policies in maintenance, and gain knowledge on scheduling and maintenance jobs using sequencing techniques. Thank you.